Master Yoda I am. And listen you must to hoopazoo.com.
Okay, children, let's start the day with a few new math problems. What is 5 times 2? Come on, children, don't be shy. Just give it your best shot. Yes, Clyde.
12.
Okay, now let's try to get an answer from someone who's not a complete retard. Anyone? Come on, don't be shy.
I think I know the answer, Mr. Garrison. Shut up, fat boy. Hey, don't call me fat, you fucking Jew.
Eric, did you just say the F word?
Jew? No, he's talking about... You can't say fucking school, you fucking fat ass.
Kyle.
Why the not?
Eric.
Dude, you just said
Again. Stanley.
Who?
Kenny.
What's the big deal? It doesn't hurt anybody.
How would you like to go see the school counselor?
How would you like to suck my...
What did you say?
I'm sorry. Actually, what I said was... How would you like to suck my... Mr. Garrison. Holy dude.
The booth. I share my world within the booth. The booth. This is all I do within the booth. The booth. A set of headphones, one microphone, and yo, hold the phone, I'm in the booth. The booth. I share my world within the booth. The booth. This is all I do within the booth. The booth. I got one microphone, flow glitz in the zone. Yeah, I ain't to load me up, lock me in. I don't care, box me in, cause the booth got me in this brand new zone. Plug me in, turn it up, blitz gon' burn it up. Might start melting down the soundproof foam. It's one way, so it's one mode. Booth on the bus whenever I'm on the road. Lock in for days and anything goes. It's been 7 days, the same clothes. Still flowing for them dudes sitting outside on the blocks in the booth, but I'm spitting outside of the box. I know where the digits at, where the lyrics at. I ain't never losing, so I ain't gotta get it back. Got commercial music, but I still know how to spit a rap. I'm like the trees on my boots, I grew from the roots. If I'm lying, I'm flying, but I'm the truth. Only one way, my mobile or roam. I'm underground in the booth. The booth. I share my world when in the booth. The booth. This is all I do when in the booth. The booth. I got a set of headphones and one microphone. And yo, hold the phone, I'm in the booth. The booth. I share my world when in the booth. The booth. This is all I do when in the booth. The booth. I got one microphone. Yeah, I'm in the zone. Kev Spence is in the booth.
Was he African?
African.
No. He was American, and he was like you. He looked just like you.
He was Jewish.
Just like you.
Okay, Jew.
Okay.
It's an odd crime for a Jew to come out.
Pretty docile.
Okay, so we have an African Jew wearing a hoodie.
No, you don't.
No.
That's not what I said. Is that what you heard me say? I said he looked like you. Do you look like an African Jew?
No, I look like a cop.
Yeah.
He was Caucasian.
All right, your boy Sinister One broadcasting live from the City of Champions. You are listening to The Booth. It is May 19th, 2020. We've already got a lot of people hanging out in the chat. They're going to say what's up to D Wood coming from, she's coming all the way down from Mississippi listening to us. Big shout out to her. Also, Faith Wood also in the chat. Also got Sinbad One Life, one half of the BMG boys sitting in the chat. What's up, Sinbad One Life? He's in here to support the guest that I have on this show tonight. So let me just get right into it because we're going to kick this show off properly. If you want to call into the show, 508-251-5722 is the number. If you want to jump in the Facebook Live, you can jump in the Facebook Live and get right into it. James Tuffy, what's going on? I see you in here. Real quick, I got to thank Noube Rateau, Emmy Award-winning Noube Rateau, filmmaker, for his movie Protect, Serve, and Care. He was on last week with me. Good show. We talked about this situation down in Georgia with the shooting of Ahmaud Marbury. And I got to give him a big props and thanks and just everything for coming on this show. You know, I called him at the last minute. Newbie's like, yep, I got you. We had a great show. The podcast is up. If you want to listen to that show from last week, it's available on Facebook, and you can listen to it in its full entirety, just like tonight's show. When this show is over, the raw audio is right there in its entirety. So if you missed it, you can listen to it later. But tonight, on my show tonight, I got a real special guest in the house. We're going to talk about some stuff. Going to get into the news week, but I got Supreme Entertainment's Preme Richardson of the I Eat, We Eat campaign. We were in Brockton this past weekend. They were on Blue Hill Ave this past weekend. Say hello to everybody. Preme?
What's poppin'? What's poppin'? All the way from Boston, chilling in the lab, ready to talk and break it off with my brother Keith.
All right, we got some good stuff. I want you to really get into this because we go right into the news booth to start the show. And one of the first topics in the news booth that I got to talk about is Brockton police officer Rosie Vasquez-Browne is actually calling out all angels because Pastor Roberto, who operates the Universal Missionary Church located on 30 Main Street, which is also the location of the tents for the homeless that was set up to help put a decrease on that spread of COVID-19. It's also located right there at the Mainspring House. They have at this time, they have run out of water. Brockton police officer Rosie Vasquez-Browne is looking for donations of bottled water. I put out there and let everybody know Shaw's right now is running a deal. If you've got a Shaw's rewards card, the cases of a bottle of water are only $1.97. And it's funny that she just put this out here. And I've got this guy, Preme Richardson, on the show of the I Eat, We Eat campaign. This is the type of stuff he's talking about, help the community. I don't know if you want to reach out to Officer Rosie Browne or what, but that's what right now they're looking for water, desperately need water.
Okay, well, I'll tap into the sources, and if you can get her, contact and link us up, I'll be glad to see what I can do to help her out on that side.
And while you're here, talk about this I Eat, We Eat. It kind of came out of nowhere. It hit the ground running, and it's been going on ever since the last month or so. You've got your BMG boys are out there doing their thing in locations. You have Vianna Marie out in Brockton this past weekend. A bird told me that you got another one coming up in Holbrook. So what's going on, and how did this all begin and start?
Well, I Eat, We Eat. It was just basic something on me and Bugsy, sitting back. Bugsy used to see me doing what I do, feeding the hunger, and he was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And I said, at that time, I was with a few other individuals, what we called it the hip hop tailgate, and we did different parking lots to serve people in need, especially along the holidays. We were doing it during Thanksgiving, we were doing it during Christmas. We were just popping it out because we saw that the homeless population was really, really, big in our community, and nobody was really speaking up for them or wasn't helping them in any way. And I understand what it is. And, a lot of people say that's their choice or whatever have you, but still they're in our community, and if we can, lend a hand to lift up, that's what we should be doing.
Nice. So you've been kind of
it's blossomed into this because everybody was saying, "Yo, man, you do too much, man. You need help with this," because I was a sole provider and financer for a while. Then came on a couple of my other friends who also began to sponsor my efforts, I should say, and it grew from there. But now it's in a fundraising stage. I wasn't going for the fundraising stage because I think we should always take care of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? When I say to the community, if I go out there and I do what I do in the community, I'm not asking for nothing that I do. So when it's time to pay it forward, please pay it forward. Feel me?
Right. And the output, the outpouring has been great from what we've seen on the lives and stuff like that. Like I know we did ours here in Brockton, and not only did people come and get a meal on Saturday afternoon, we had a lot of people that own businesses like V's Cooking, Prestige Construction. They rolled up there like, "Look, we don't want any food. We just want to help you out. This is a beautiful, good thing." And they dropped cash, and Brockton, we were able to walk away with not only feeding people, but we were able to walk away with close to $200 to turn back into the program. And that's exactly kind of what your dream is about this, correct?
Let me first say, thank you to all those people, because that's not just out in Brockton. That was also with my team out here in Boston and so forth. You know, a lot of people was like, yo, we appreciate what you're doing. I wish I could do it, you know, because a lot of people don't want to take a risk on being on the front line. You know what I mean? So, so a lot of people that didn't want to take the risk felt like putting in their funds is like, you know, they doing their part. And they are. And I want to say thank you to all of y'all, you know what I'm saying? And all those who are donating to the fundraiser that's going on, because I mean, even after the covert, remember I started this before covert. Even after the covert, it's going to be here. So we got to keep this moving.
And like I said, this is a big deal. It's a good thing that's going on in the communities, and you're picking all these different areas over time. Do you foresee this? I believe a birdie told me Holbrook might be the next location.
We're trying right now sort out, you know, because we got high demand right now, and right now a priority when it comes down to elderly, and I just got an elderly call, so I'm really trying to focus on that area right at this particular time. But my team is looking at what areas we're gonna be able to cover with the supplies that we get this week.
And one of the things I do know, the elderly are the forgotten. And I know that just from what they do around here at Thanksgiving time and Christmas time. Lots of times these elderly high rises and things, everybody thinks just because they're living in these elderly high rises or these assisted living housing, everybody thinks that these people are taken care of. But no, some of these people are living, you know, check to check or whatever. They're hurting. So sometimes it doesn't just have to be the homeless. Sometimes it's these people who may have a roof over their head, but they're still cutting it close because they're paying, you know, medical bills or their social is being taken up by their assisted living rent. And I'm pretty sure you've been talked to about situations like that, as you just said.
Almost definitely, man. I mean, me, myself, I don't care about your income. It's not about your income. If you got a need, you hungry, I eat, we eat. You know what I'm saying?
We eat.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's no other way of putting it, man. If I started, you know, doing that, you know, he can't have a piece of the pie. Then, you know, I'm cutting somebody in my community who's gonna, you know, do something else to get it. I'd rather give it to you and let you not do that of something else. You feel me?
Community, and that's what it's all about. COMM, unity, and that's what it's all about. We need to keep doing what we're doing for our community during this time, and not just during this time, but beyond, because sometimes people like to just, you know, step up and get that shine on, and then when the cameras shut off, you know, they shut off. You know what I'm talking about, right, Preme?
Right. Let me speak on that because I want to be clear, man. I'm not doing this for no publicity or nothing. If it was left up to me, I wouldn't even do the GoFundMe thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I said, I've been doing this way before, you know, any corona. I mean, to be honest, I was doing it when I was with the NAACP, you know, because that's when I began to recognize the need for it, you know. So, I mean, my credentials is clear. I'm not here to just get publicity or anything. I'm here to just do the right thing, you know.
And that's a good thing. Now, you've got some solid sponsors. Can you mention some of the sponsors that you have that have been providing some of the, you know, the corporate sponsors? I know Stop and Shop was one, and
Boston Medical is another. You know what I'm saying? Send Fathers in Need. You know, BMG Records, Barber Time Media Network, Preme Entertainment. You know, we all, you know, chip in and make it happen.
Cool. And speaking of the Barber Time Network, this is another big thing that you're part of. And one of the locations here in Brockton was actually Corey the Barber's spot, Eastside Cuts. And I want you to kind of explain about this Barbershop Network that you've got going on, because this is a very interesting project also. I was reading the website and checking out the Facebook page, and it looks like you have a community, a network of barbers, and you kind of help them build their brand and build up their storefronts and things like that of that sort. That's a totally different thing, but I'd love for you to mention.
First off, let me put it this way. I don't do shit. My team does it. Okay? Let's give respect due where respect is due, and I'm that type of dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, big shout out to my partner, Ian Davis, you know, the founder of Barber Time Media Network, you know, where, you know, we want to be opposed to the community. You know what I'm saying? Providing them with the real. I mean, if you honestly look at it, it makes sense because where did you get your news? From the barber shop back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Where were the conversations held on political topics in the barber shop back in the day? So we were really the immediate news source for the community before, newspapers began to take over and knock us out the box. You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, you can say the barber was the dentist, the barber was the psychiatrist, he used to be a lot of things. So basically, me and Ian put that all together and, created Barber Time Media Network that provides information on community, barber shops, beauty care, health care, we a lot of stuff. We cover a lot, you know what I'm saying? And we're really pulling it all together now because we're going on we're on another level now. And I ask everybody to just subscribe, join in. You know what I'm saying? We'll promise you won't be disappointed.
And how did they subscribe? Let them know. Where's the link? Where do they go if they want to sign up for that? And also, if they want to donate to the IEWE campaign, there's a GoFund. Where do we get all that?
Okay, well, for Barber Time, all the time, you go to barbertime.com and you can subscribe on barbertime.com. And for the IEWE, go to GoFundMe and put it at IEWE. We come right on up. And, $1, whatever you want to put in the pot is going to be helpful.
Cool. I got to speak up on these people in the chat. Dennis Donahue, thanks for joining in the chat. Michelle Rahal of the Rahal family, the racing family, legendary racing family. Michelle Rahal in the chat. What's going on, Michelle? Los Lancaster, the rapper, he's in the chat. Peter Sanderford, Faith Wood, Shannon Amato, all you peeps. Joe Gilkin, what's up? Felicia Damon, she's a big part of the Brockton community. Thank you for tuning in. Frank Cara, Dennis Donahue, thank you for your service. You guys are listening to Preme Richardson of the We Eat campaign right here on the Hoobazoo Network. This is the booth with your boy Sinister One. And you want to hang around and talk with me on some of these topics I got going on, man?
Yeah, I'm with whatever, I'm with whatever.
Cool.
How you gonna do it? You know what I'm saying? I'm here,
Cool. All right, so back into the news booth. Governor Baker released his reopening plan for the state of Massachusetts to mix reviews, with phase 2 being one of the most crucial. As we're going to see things like barbershops and salons, man. They're going to be opening up, but they're going to have their restrictions. What do you think about that? These guys are going to have to probably keep one seat between them so they can have that 6 feet. How do you feel about this? Because you're a businessman. How do you feel about we're finally reopening up the state slowly?
Well, let me say it like this. Before I'm a businessman, I'm a community man. You know what I'm saying? And on my community side, I'm ready to open up because, this is a flu season. It's no different from any other flu season other than how they prescribed it and put it out to the public. And it's a scare tactic. So, now they got to figure out how to, eat y'all's scare tactics. So a lot of motherfuckers are going to start going to get medication for their paranoia and their fears. They're going to come out of it. It's all about corona. So me, myself, I think it's all BS in a sense because barbers and hairstylists were always taught the hygiene part of their profession. Like I said, before time was time, barbers used to be dentists.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They used to be doctors, surgeons. Motherfucker get shot, they go to the barber to get the shit out. Yeah. I'm talking back in the gangster line game times, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it 100. So for them to, start putting more rules and more stringencies on them, corona didn't come from them. You know what I'm saying? Let's first talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you put more stringencies and shit on the labs that the shit's escaping from? Let's keep it 100, Why are we focusing on, how we going to stop these motherfucking labs from unleashing this shit on our population? because that's where it really stems from. It doesn't come from the barbershop. So the positive side is the brothers and sisters are able to go back to work after a whole 30-day and 2-week suspension of them making an income to feed their families or pay their fucking bills. I think that's me myself. I really bully on the government. I already didn't like the government, but bully on the government is real. Because they got to also look at that population. There's also the entertainment population, the independent artists that no longer could perform and make that little, money that they were making for their performances. You know what I'm saying? They cut into a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs that can't claim stimulus due to the rules. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a good thing that they beginning to open the city up. I don't think they should really prolong it. Already, I could be honest with you, I've watched the different areas that have opened up already and watching their numbers still drop, and they're functioning, and they're already in stage 3. You feel me? Boston's behind. Bully on fucking Boston. We used to be the trendsetters. Why ain't we setting trends? Since when we become scared motherfuckers in the community? I ain't scared. Let's do this. Let's get out here and do what we got to do. I've already set out there and I've seen and touched and served over 9,000 motherfucking families. So I'm still walking around, and I do have health issues, and my doctor, security, my people, even you keep me telling me, yo, but I'm not that dude. You gotta shake me with something better. I come from a cloth. My mama taught me what her mama taught her how to clean my motherfucking system, so I do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't swallow my phlegm. I spit that shit out. But as to each his own, and I'm not knocking it. I really don't like talking about Corona because it's almost like talking religion, and it gets crazy. But for real, it is, it's time for us to really, bring back the city as safe and as soon as possible, because people are suffering. You know what I'm saying? That used to have business. The businesses that we used to have, that was going to be, are no longer going to be, because some of them can't really open. Some of them are not going to make bounce back. My man right now, he already lost 2 of his barbers who are not going to be able to come back to the shop. And this is happening not to him, not to just him, but also to other barbershops, whether you black owned, blue owned, green owned, don't matter. It's affecting everybody.
Dennis Donahue, he's in the chat. What's up, Paul Forrest? Barry Seinberg, what's up? Dennis Donahue says in the chat, my question is, what's the difference between a bar and a nightclub scenario on a Friday or Saturday night? What's up, Dan Conway? MMA referee Dan Conway, how's it going? Dennis, the difference between the bar and the nightclub scenario? Well, in a bar, you can keep that 6-foot restriction. In a nightclub, you're expected to dance, and people are going to play music and drink, and they're going to want to be dancing on the dance floor, which is in violation of that 6 feet.
That's 6 feet bullshit.
And that's kind of what the difference is, I believe. That's how they're going about it. So that's probably how you answer.
Motherfuckers been putting droplets on each other for decades. Now y'all worrying about droplets, nigga.
All right.
Don't get saying it's nasty as hell, but be honest. We've been putting droplets on each other for decades. Niggas who talk when they spit, bad breath. I'll keep it 100, bro. I got to lay it out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dennis Darius talks about the big corporations, big point there, big corporation. I'm mad at the big corporations because they've been making money off the backs of the working class, and then when it comes time to support and give back for a month, these corporations are pulling out empty pockets like they broke and can't give nobody no help for a month. And it's like, come on now, people have been living off these profits, and it's funny because now you see all these businesses, J.C. Penney, Neiman Marcus, Pier 21. All these big corporations that have been mismanaging their money and paying out the CEOs these big salaries are all going under because they didn't manage their money correctly. And some of these places, they didn't even buy pandemic insurance, which was available to some companies out there. Nobody just ever bought into it. So moving along here, hundreds of villages in China's northeastern province has been placed under lockdown after new cases were reported in the region after the shutdown. So we want to just keep an eye on that. There's an update on the 250 children that have died of that Kawasaki disease that's connected to COVID. Last week, there was only 15. That's a scary. It has nothing really to do with COVID. It's just another scary disease to just pay attention to in young children, this Kawasaki disease. And it's just a scary thing. Keep your eye on it. In Canada, this story goes in line with last week's story. A teenager was caught doing 191 miles an hour in his dad's car in Ontario, triple the speed limit. The 18-year-old was behind the wheel of a Mercedes with a 19-year-old passenger. He was doing about a football field a second. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning it is because, unfortunately, society today, when me and Preme were younger, if you got caught doing stuff like this, you had to answer for it. You had to answer for it in the court of law. You had to answer for it from your parents, which was the most scariest thing of all. Because going home to my dad was the scariest thing of all. But instead, we had it like last week, we had a 5-year-old kid who stole his parents' car. He took the car on the highway. They chased him down. He told the cops that he was trying to go get a Lamborghini so he could drive a Lamborghini. Now, instead of being punished, the following week, this kid ends up on social media. Shaq, Lil Baby, and Jamie Foxx, they go and visit this kid. Jamie Foxx goes and gives him a ride in a Lamborghini. I'm like, well, what's going to happen with this kid in Canada now? Society, you got this messed up. You rewarding kids for stuff and setting a bad example for all these kids who think, oh, I'm going to do something bad and be rewarded for it. No,
I know
rewarded
thing.
for it.
I know one thing, Keith.
Go for
I
it.
remember I took my daddy's car keys and took a ride around the block. Brought it back with no scratch.
Uh-huh.
But couldn't find the same parking space I took it from.
Uh-oh. He knew, right? He knew, right? Right? He knew, right?
Hey, no, listen. Ain't no celebrity came see me. It was a big black leather belt that saw my black ass. Right? I didn't make no streams, no social media headline. I got that ass whooping, and yeah. I feel you, bro. I don't understand that shit myself. Little motherfucker got his ass whooped.
and I say that too because I grew up in Mission Hill, and I remember I had a little incident growing up, and my dad was well known. My dad was known as you got punished in my house. My dad made sure that you was punished well, and I remember we had the dude that was known for stealing cars in Mission Hill, and one time we was all outside playing, and he asked me to come hold the wires for him while he went and got a screwdriver and some other stuff. I remember I was sitting in that car thinking I was cool because so-and-so let me come into the car that he was so-called working on, and I'm holding the wires. My dad's coming back from Paul's store, which was located right there on Parker Street. He come up and see me in that car, and he was like, Keith. I'm like, yeah, what do you want, Dad? What you doing in that car? Well, so-and-so told me that was all he needed to hear. That's all he needed to hear. And, and back in them days, you got it. You got tore up. And there was no, like you said, there was no social. Really, to be honest, the only social media you had was the neighbors talking about, you got in that ass today.
Well, I don't even know how they did it. I don't even know how they did it because they didn't have no cell phone. Ain't no cell phone.
The word, and it's funny how the word did get around in the hood back in the day. The hood got around real quick. The word got around the hood real quick without social media back in the day. Real quick. From one person to the next. If it wasn't told in church, if it was told on the street on the corner, and the social media was on point. Getting into the legal booth. On Thursday, Michigan closed down its Capitol building, canceled its legislative session after online threats were made against Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who they're not happy about. She's been a little strict on her rules with the COVID, but they had the big numbers. The threats were made by protesters who planned a so-called Judgment Day protest. And if you guys remember correctly, some of these protesters were militia, white supremacist dudes. They were flexing their right to carry, open carry. And as we talked on this show, that right to open carry was actually brandishing a weapon. And we all know that that's how they would have bent that whole truth if that group ended up being a group of black men instead of white men. And we talked about that on this show. They were talking about hanging Whitmer and stuff like that. So what happens now? We now have a group of black men who showed up there to escort the representative to work one day. And we also had a group of black men exercising their Second Amendment right in the Georgia neighborhood where Ahmaud Arbery was killed to demonstrate their freedom and liberty down there. Look, I agree about all this Second Amendment stuff and your rights, but I feel like it's a tough situation. You got to be real careful with what we're doing here because we don't want to fall into this thing that I always feel is what the government does to us. I feel like a lot of this race stuff that people are debating and talking about on media, social media and stuff, I feel like it's Jedi mind tricks by the government. I feel like the government is truly the haves and the have-nots. Either you got money or you don't got money. If you're in between, they don't care about you. It's about those with money and power. And then they use these race issues as Jedi mind tricks to keep the weak with their attention over here so you don't see what's going on over there. I don't know if we want to chime in on that real quick.
I mean, you kind of spoke on it straight out, man. As I said, this is a psychological warfare, and that's what the government always utilizes to find out how many of the population that they have, will be obedient.
Right, right, and it's like I said, it's just another way. Dennis Donahue says, who grew up with me. Dennis was talking about my dad. He says, I was punished by your father. I ran around the house screaming for help too. Heading into the entertainment booth on Friday, CBS All Access announced that it ordered another Star Trek episode of Discovery, and they're going to have a spinoff of Strange New Worlds, which will follow Captain Pike and the rest of the crew of the Enterprise. This is before Kirk took over, so I'm pretty excited about that. Also, this past weekend on Versus, we had Luda taking on Nelly. Now, I had picked Luda to win this. I knew Luda had the hits over Nelly, but everybody's clowning on Nelly because Nelly, and it's not just Nelly. If you've tuned in to this Versus and Preme, who's also very involved with the music industry, look, these are big name people involved in these battles on the weekend. And to be honest, you should be coming correct and making sure your sound and everything is right before you're going online to 700,000 to 800,000 people. Because from time and time again, we've had some great matchups, but we've had these stories like with Teddy Riley. He tried to do too much and he just basically didn't have his sound right. They're clowning Nelly because Nelly he was trying to do his thing over Wi-Fi and didn't have his on the Ethernet cable. Like everybody who knows, that's like basic 101, networking 101. If you're going to go live for something where you want to pull a lot of people and have your stuff be tight, you got to be on the wire. You can't be on Wi-Fi because if anybody in music or the business will tell you, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Stick by what you need to stick by. I'm going to let Preme talk on that one a little bit.
Oh, man. I mean, I think you hit it right there on the nail. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't even know how I could touch that one. You kind of touched everything I could possibly say about.
Well, I mean, you've mentored artists, you've taught artists, so there's got to be some things that you told people. Look, this, and then when they don't listen,
I mean, yeah, Luda's a dangerous man, but Nelly's also, Nelly. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't. Whether they come with quality sound, I guess some people are egotistical, you know what I mean? They think that any way they put it out there, it's all right. They should come with quality sound, especially if you Luda and Nelly. I mean, you don't want to disappoint your fans.
Well, I think what the problem is that we're seeing here with social media is that a lot of these people who usually have legit sound people in their camp, because you're social distancing, they're not able to do that stuff. And this is why you see I believe this is why these things happen. I mean, to be honest, if I'm a Nelly or a Luda or somebody who's got this thing coming up, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna talk to my sound guy, and maybe if he's in the area, I'm gonna say, hey, bring your mask or whatever, but I need my sound right for this battle. I think I'm just gonna I'm probably going to go that route. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not a sound person, but it is nice. It's nice to see a lot of these people, these big stars that we kind of put on a pedestal and look up to. Seeing them during this quarantine is now like last night. Last night, DJ Khaled went live. His album went platinum. So now he's got a back-to-back-to-back platinum album. So DJ Khaled went live last night about his platinum album. But guess what? DJ Khaled was drizzed. And he was pulling people on like Big Sean. He pulled in Buju Banton. And they all knew that he was lit. But this is the thing that we're seeing right now. These are things that you had PR people and people like you who are management telling people, hey, you got to ease up. You can't be doing this. And now, because they don't have these people under them, you're seeing some of these internet social media disasters. I don't know if you want to speak on that because it's got to be kind of funny to you.
Image is everything, man. It's like, how you want to be perceived. Some artists, they want to be perceived as that, savage. Some artists want to be perceived as that, educated person. It's really the artist. Management can only do so much. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to, now management have more control before social media. Now management has less control because artists can just go right to their social media and do whatever they want to do, you know what I'm saying, without clearing it through management first. And see, marketing and image and all of that plays a very important part when you're trying to push out something or get to you. But when you're already there, you feel like you can't come down. But stuff like that does affect your brand. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about your brand.
Right. I got a couple of more music topics to talk about in the entertainment booth. One of them is not even on here, but I'm going to add it because I'm blessed to have you on. And like I said, you not only are you involved with the IE campaign, Preme Richardson, but you're also involved in the music industry. You got a lot of years. We've got this big thing that came up this past weekend with Tekashi 6ix9ine. And for those who don't know, he was involved in this snitching thing. He got his time reduced. He's out. Now he come out of jail and he's been snitching on everybody still. He's snitching on Snoop, posting pictures of Snoop with some chick, some Instagram model in the bedroom.
Yeah, dog, you getting that money, dog. Leave that alone. Leave that other dog alone. That dog bite.
Snoop pretty much told him this was the wrong place to go. But the reason why I want to talk to you, though, on this Tekashi thing is this whole Billboard 100 thing that a lot of people aren't paying attention to because everybody else is all up on the Snoop Dogg thing. The Billboard 100 thing that he was talking about this week. Look, this has been going on for a long time and people are kind of clowning him, but what he was speaking about is right. He's telling the truth. This stuff does go on in the music industry. So what happened was that his song should have been number one, but all of a sudden Ariana Grande's song jumped up within 24 hours and Justin Bieber's song jumped up within 48 hours. So he went out there and said on his Instagram Live, he's like, look, what happens is that these record labels who support these artists, they got all these credit cards, and if they got to get the numbers up, they go out, they put them numbers up, they buy or they stream what needs to be done, and they get the numbers up, so Billboard will collect it, and that's how they take over these spots. Now, a lot of people are clowning them and saying, no, that's not how it is. Billboard actually took all of Tekashi's catalog completely off the Billboard history. And I feel like that's wrong because in my mind, I remember Diddy on Making the Band back in the days of Tower Records when he was talking about making artists be popular. He talked about how you would record companies would send people in to go buy those records at the store.
But let me say it like this. They're going to pull R. Kelly, then they might as well pull his ass. I mean, both of them, hey. They did it to R. Kelly, man. They did the same thing. But see, right now, what it's all about, let me say it like this. The industry is about this. It's about connections. You know what I'm saying? And what Tekashi doesn't understand, he's playing with fire, and I get it. I personally, I'm taking my hat off to him because he's attempting something that if everybody pay attention to, you'll find out that the industry that we understand and follow is bullshit. Mm-hmm. And there is other ways that, you know, you as an independent or entrepreneur can absolutely do exactly what a label used to do. So really, he don't care. He doesn't care about that. He wants to get on those charts because those charts do, you know, help him. He's really fucking with his money. But he's believing, this is what I mean, like lack of knowledge. He's believing just those streams is going to hold him down. The numbers that he had with his streams.
Cool. So he's drawn there. So okay, cool. That's good. I wanted to get that input from you because you've been involved in this business. Also, the next music topic in the entertainment booth, big ups to rapper, man, Lil Baby. And I keep telling a lot of rappers this stuff, that in the music industry, writing is a big part of royalties. Writing is a big part. And Lil Baby was just announced this past week as being the top songwriter for 2020, and we're only in May, and he's the top songwriter, which means Lil Baby, who, you know, he has his image, he's rapping, and everybody sees him as this artist. He's getting work done behind the scenes as a writer, and to be able to have that achievement as top songwriter of the year, let him know this is where your money, this is where you hold on to your royalties, and let him know, Preme, this is what people need to be. It's not about the glam and the glitz. It's about putting that work in and making sure what you do is going to feed your family for years to come.
Yeah. If you ain't in compliance, you know, you're doing this for nothing. You're a hobbyist, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you do got to you get to work and make sure it's all in compliance, make sure it's in the right places to do what it do. You know, no matter, you know, and I tell everybody this, no matter what kind of sound you got, any sound can sell. Like you said, look at Lil Baby. Come on, dog. The Baby. Look at that. Man, I can go back to chicken noodle soup.
So these guys, like I said,
it's about the marketing and how you push it to the public, you know?
Right. And the writing is a big deal. And again, he's got 500,000 units. Go ahead.
Right. If you want more rights, if you want to have more, because you got to break it up. When you get when you do your apps, when you get your PRO, in your PRO, you got to, who's the writer and who's the composer.
Right. Because like when Tupac passed, when Tupac was killed, there was a whole library of music, of unseen music that he had just written, and unfortunately, Dog Pound Records and they pretty much had all of that stuff over there. Death Row Records had all of that over there, and which was now purchased by Hasbro. Hasbro has all that stuff now, so it's going to be real interesting to see where that goes. I thought Dr. Dre was going to definitely jump right at that and buy that right from Hasbro. Now that they had that catalog, it surprised me that Dr. Dre didn't jump all over a chance to get his masters back. I was shocked that he didn't jump at that. I mean, that was just some crazy stuff. I don't know if you want to chime in on that before I move on to the next topic.
Well, yeah, I mean, I respect Dre, for real. Ain't no use to going in old crates when you got new shit going on.
Well, he's making money off beats.
I mean, honestly, he's gonna still make money whether Hasbro got it or Jimmy Crow got it. He's attached to that. You feel me? So.
Oh, he is. I thought when he walked from Death Row, he had lost any royalties to those masters. I thought that all went to Suge.
Suge fucked up. Suge was this is what I mean with motherfuckers that try to put gangster with business. Those are two different and separate beasts.
Go for it. Let them know. They're listening. They're in here.
You can't put gangster with business because you still gonna fuck up the business. And that's his problem. Now he thought he could walk away, but see, once the paperwork, when those masters was created, a process was completed. That's why Dre didn't have no worries about all that bullshit. He already knew his stamp was on it. In order for them to get it to where it could be released, everybody got their credit. His name's on the. Come on, dog. All that shit listed. That's why certain music could not move because Dre. You feel me? That's why they unreleased.
So Suge was pretty much fake flexing when he was bragging about them masters. He was just pretty much fake flexing. Dre knew that he still had the upper hand.
Right. So his ass.
And Snoop too, because he lost Snoop. Snoop walked away and went right to Atlanta and started making money with the boys down south, and did what he needed to do. Moving on, comedic actor Fred Willard passed away, 86 years old. He's a great comedian. I remember seeing him when I was younger on Real People, and then he moved on to Everybody Loves Raymond. He was an Anchorman. One of the things that he's known for, he is the first and only live action actor to be in a Pixar movie. That's a big deal. He passed away of natural causes. Other big news, Ruby Rose, the actress who plays Batwoman in the CW's hit show Batwoman, she has abruptly quit the show. That was breaking news before we went live. If those who don't realize this, she suffered a serious injury, was almost paralyzed for life during a stunt on set. But they're saying her quitting this show has nothing to do with it. We don't know. Right now, she's quit. There's no statement as to why. Last week on the show, we talked about Logan Williams passing away at 16. He was the younger version of Flash on the show The Flash on the CW. Now we find out that this young man, 16 years old, opiate overdose. And it's just crazy because in the story it said that he had been battling this opiate overdose since he was 13. I can't imagine. And it's sad because it's out there. These stories are out there. To be battling opiate addiction at the age of 13 is just crazy. The Unhinged trailer was released by Solstice Studios. Russell Crowe, as a road rage victim gone crazy, put on a lot of weight for this role. It reminds me of that movie Duel from back in the day. Netflix just announced The Last Airbender Avatar. That just premiered. So if you're a big anime fan like me, you're going to get on this Avatar. This week in sports, NASCAR returns. Professional bull riding return. UFC has now had their 3 fights in 1 week, so he's caught up. Dana White is back on track. In California, they are searching. Well, actually, breaking story. The Coast Guard has called off the search for WWE superstar Shad Gaspard. He went missing. Him and his son were swimming with another group of people at Venice Beach. There was a riptide. The lifeguards went out to save him and the other people, and he told the lifeguards, "Get my son first. Don't get me, get my son." And they got his son. They went back out to get him. Another riptide came and it dragged him out. His body is yet to be found. They're pretty sure that this man is not going to be found, and his family's already preparing for the worst news. Trump troubles. We're going to get into the Trump troubles. We've got about 15 minutes to the show left. I got it. Once again, I got Preme Richardson, We Eat, hanging on with me in Trump troubles. President Donald Trump said Monday he'd been taking hydroxychloroquine, which is an unproven treatment. Again, people are all up in arms because he's talking about this. He vigorously promoted this. He's got some people now that's got $10 million invested in the stock of this. So it looks real shiesty. And this goes back into the whole rich get richer, poor get poorer. He's now said that he's taking this and he feels fine. And while Neil Cavuto of Fox News, he warned viewers that this drug could literally kill them. It's not a good thing. You want to chime in on that?
Yo, man, gangster, yo. That nigga's gangster, yo. We got a gangster for a president, man. That's real gangster right there. He getting ready to peddle y'all some drugs, yo.
and it's funny because a lot of people too, they've got 5 government officials right now who sold off their stock and it pretty much started the fall of the stock market because they were tipped off to this COVID and they went and sold their stock.
Let's be 100. Let's be 100. You know, on this COVID, yo, influenza season has been around forever. It was around even with the bird flu. God damn it. I mean, I could take you through a few others. This is no different. Only thing that's different now is that the media and the elected officials within the system have hyped it to create hysteria, calling it a pandemic, creating psychological warfare to reset your country. And that's the best way I can sum it up. Thank you. That's my opinion. I have no opinion of anybody else but me.
And
no, he's gangster, yo. He's real gangster. He's real, for him to be able to shut a country down for influenza like this and, get people on annoyed mode, yo, he's a businessman and he knows how to do it because what did they do? They just cranked up the machine and bought y'all votes and paid y'all off not to, really, really, really look at shit. But
like I said, Jedi mind tricks. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi referred to Trump as morbidly obese during the appearance on Monday night CNN. Said he shouldn't be taking the hydro because it's to stave off the coronavirus. Look, I'm critical of both parties. My feeling is Nancy Pelosi, two wrongs don't make a right. You can't. And I feel like, okay, I worked in another job.
This bitch not out of office yet?
Well, my thing is that when you have somebody at the top who acts a certain way, you have that trickle down effect, and that trickle down effect affects other people, and other people begin to act that way. And then the only way to fix that problem is to stop it at where the source is. She continues to do these little things that bug me, and I'm not happy with. Like when she went up there and she ripped the State of the Dress up when he gave it to her. I felt like, man, that was. We get it. You don't like him, but it's unprofessional. It sets a wrong tone. And this is why I don't really listen to Nancy Pelosi. She got a lot of Democratic fans, but I'm not a fan of her because of the way she acts and how she carries herself. And, she could have just came out and said that she's not happy with him saying that he was taking this hydro and left it at that. But to come out and say he's morbidly obese, that has nothing to do with it.
Trump strokes that woman's nerve. You heard me? Trump, like I said, he's gangster. He know how to stroke that woman's nerve. Real tough. So I'm not surprised at it. Personally, I think it's all, for show. Me being in entertainment, I find it entertaining. You know what I'm saying? But the realism of it, these are the people we elected in a position to make very crucial decisions. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that says a lot about us. Okay. So, before we jump on them and we, talk shit about them, we got to talk shit about how we educate ourselves about understanding this process so we can get the right people up in there. I'm just saying, that's just my opinion again. Nobody else's but mine.
And like I said, I'm not a fan of her anyway, just the way she carries herself. And like I said, she made the comments on Anderson Cooper's 360 over the weekend, and Washington Times commented on it. Again, we're getting ready to wind down here. 7:52, got about 8 minutes left of the show. I got to thank Preme Richardson for hanging on with me for this entire show, talking some topics. But before we get out of here and give our event reminders, I want Preme. Like I said, Preme has been involved with the music industry for a long time. This reopening is opening back up. You've got this BMG Records that you're working with, and your Supreme Entertainment brand. As far as artists and people out there, how can they get in touch with you for some of these other things that you do? How can they reach out to you and let them know? Because you got a lot of stuff that's going on. And I'd like for you to get that all out there, how they can contact you, their social media and all that.
Okay, well, basically, you go to our website, supremeentnow.org. You can get a lot of contact information from there. We offer a lot of services to independent artists and try to educate the artists on how to obtain 100% of their royalty and, mechanical rights, as well as getting them to understand compliance within the digital age here. Well, we're kind of open to artists, but with BMG Records, it's more or less a partnership, so we're very selective on that. There is a process. Everybody's welcome to enter the process. It's not as difficult as any other record labels, but we create a partnership with the artist, so it is a stringent one. I'm always open, like I said. I don't do it all. It's my team. So you may not get to talk to me. You may get to talk to, somebody like you, Keith, or, somebody like CD, Bugs and all of them. I'll get when you get to me, you're almost there. But you get past those dogs right there that I just named off, you're doing good. But,
all right. And social media?
Preme Rich, on all social media platforms. You can get me on Instagram, Preme Richardson, Facebook, Preme Richardson, Twitter, Preme Richardson, and all around. Try to make myself somewhat accessible. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. So I want to thank Preme Richardson for coming on the show. We're at 7:55, and man, we got some good stuff coming up. This is for Memorial Day weekend. It's coming up. Usually we would be planning. This is it. This was the kickoff to the summer, but we're not really getting into anything until June 1st is when we're going to start seeing the second phase. So to be honest, people,
they ain't getting into some shit, man. I'm getting it. I'm frying. I'm hot dogging, hamburging like the only.
That's what I was about to say, man. I'm like, look, it's Memorial Day. Go get your shopping done on Friday and just be in front of the grill. Just remember, this is all about. Yeah, just be in front of the grill, enjoy it with your family that's around you. Like I said, this is the time to spend with that family around you. I know a lot of people are up in arms because their kids are driving them crazy by having no school, but this is the time to get the grill going, smoke, take the day, smoke a nice slab of ribs with some special sauce, make it work for you. Make this weekend work for you before we open this all back up in the second phase. That's my feeling. Get that done. Enjoy this weekend.
And let me say to everybody out there, if you can help your friend or help a neighbor or help a stranger, do so, because whatever you do for them comes back to you in more ways than one. Trust and believe that.
True. Also, everybody, I want you to check out Matty C's Sports for You and Me podcast. This week, he's got NFL legend, Chicago Bear, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion quarterback Jim McMahon on his show. Matty C is holding it down, doing big things. Big shout out to that BMG boys, Bobby Streets and Sinbad One Life for doing that intro and that outro with their song No Mercy, which is available everywhere. Check that out. Podcasts are available, Spotify. Vianna Marie's EPV is available on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Check out the new promos that were just put out on TikTok and Instagram to promote her song Back Down and her song Paper Chase. And a little birdie just told me that Vianna Marie is real close to releasing a couple of EPs of some old music. I got a little bird that told me that, and a little bird told me that there's a possibility that she may be on the show next week to give us a little taste of a couple of those songs and maybe some of this new music, because for those who don't know, Vianna Marie is signed under the BMG Records label under that Supreme Entertainment. She was one of the female artists to join their brand as of this year, just before everything shut down. So she's going to be putting out brand spanking new music under that BMG. I'm going to let you just talk about your BMG boys and her real quick before we get out of here. Just rip about both of those artists.
Oh, man. I kind of been blessed with, trying to build the BMG Records catalog together. So was a, blessing to, come across Sinbad, and, seeing the things that he's put forth as a partner in this, to put the BMG boys and Bugsy Streets, his part that he's, a must taker. And finally, we found a songbird, in Vianna Marie. So, yeah, now we're ready to, put out some new stuff. You're going to see some of the independent things. You're going to see some of them, collaboration, stuff that's coming out. I'm really hyped for it. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings, so I can get past tomorrow, so I can get to the next tomorrow.
Right. Cool. All right, people, we're going to get ready to get out of here. I got to thank all you people in the chat. Barbara O'Meara, Dave Haggerty, what's going on, man? I see you out there listening to the show. Mark Silvestro, what's going on? Hey, I know everybody's watching this video of the show that's going on right now. I just want to let everybody know my motherboard came in this week. The motherboard for the new tower, the booth's new tower is here. I'm going to be building that bad boy tonight. I'm adding some serious video streaming. Producing is coming to this show. I'm going to have to make sure I'm looking pretty good for being online because it's going to be full video during this show, not just this imagery that you see going on right now with our topics. But I thank everybody for supporting this show, supporting and coming on and listening to these guests that I've had to come on this show. But it's coming. So again, I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in. I got to thank Preme for coming on this show. And all I got to say is, SpongeBob, do me a favor, take us home.
Well, see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to The Booth on Hoobazoo and HatcherRadio.com. Please follow the Facebook page and subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. The Booth is a Sinister One production hosted by Sinister One.
I've got to start hanging out with friends that are a little more intelligent and understand politics and stuff. It's just that I'm up on this level up here, and all my friends are down here. Me, nah. You guys, nah. Maybe a little more down in here. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I smoke, I drink, I do my thing. These bitches hating, so you know I got to make it plain. Don't do cocaine, but your chick, my main. We stick together, true forever, yeah, you know we bang. I miss those days, which was easy. If only I make it, bitch, don't repeat. Now that I done upgraded, I've been upstate, and y'all think I'm playing. And I got a hit now for these weak assholes who think I ain't slaying. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip. I don't need that shit, I got my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything I'ma have to bring the whole city out.
WHOOBAZOO, that's Hoobazoo.com.
Enter website.